met someone who emotionally disappears mid-conversation because their soul suddenly needed more space? Or they laugh during heartbreak and somehow turn emotional chaos into a philosophical lesson? Well, guess what? You're not dealing with Casper the Friendly Ghost with emotional avoidance issues. You're dealing with a Sagittarius Moon. And just to be clear, Sagittarius Moons are not emotionally cold. They're emotionally expansive. Now, let me give you a quick example of what I mean when I say they are emotionally expansive. So say they get their heart broken at like 9:42 a.m. They'll dramatically stare out the window like they're in an indie film. They'll cry exactly one time because it felt symbolic. Then by 11:07 a.m., they're saying, well, honestly, this was necessary for my growth. Then they'll Google flights, all while accidentally becoming a philosopher and laughing at their own trauma like it's bonus content for their documentary. They didn't heal. They emotionally sped up enlightenment and kept it moving. This is a moon placement ruled by Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, belief systems, and meaning. And did you know that in Western astrology, the moon governs emotional needs and inner safety? And in Eastern philosophy, the emotional body is meant to evolve, not cling to things. So Sagittarius Moon lives this truth instinctively, whether people are ready for it or not. And sadly, most folks are not ready for Sagittarius's very overbearing, bossy, unfiltered truth bombs. Am I right? Okay, so let's talk about Sagittarius's real emotional superpowers right now. So understand that Sagittarius Moons do feel deeply, just not in the way most people expect them to, which is everyone else's problem, right? That's what I say, at least. Now, I said we're going to unpack Sagittarius superpowers. So with that being said, the greatest superpower of a Sagittarius Moon is emotional resilience. This placement processes pain through perspective. So while other moon signs sit inside emotions, Sagittarius Moon zooms out and asks, what is this teaching me? Now, ancient Western astrology links Sagittarius to higher truth, not emotional comfort. And that shows up strongly here. Sagittarius Moon doesn't drown in feelings. They alchemize them into wisdom. Heartbreak, loss, disappointment, betrayal. It all hurts a Sagittarius, but it rarely breaks them. Another dominant superpower trait is emotional optimism. Even when life is objectively falling apart all around them, Sagittarius Moons have a built-in belief that things will just magically work out eventually. They won't bask in denial. This is Jupiterian faith. In Eastern belief systems, faith shapes emotional reality, and Sagittarius Moon emotionally survives because they trust life more than they fear it. And this is why Sagittarius Moon people can laugh through chaos and still keep moving forward. Sagittarius Moon also has emotional honesty as a superpower. They feel what they feel, and they will say it plainly. No manipulation, no emotional chess games, no passive aggression. If they're upset, trust me, you'll know. And if they're over something, you'll definitely know that too. This moon placement values truth over emotional performance. Look, they'd rather risk being misunderstood than being emotionally fake. Now, another superpower trait that they possess is emotional independence. Now, Sagittarius Moon does not emotionally attach in a codependent way. They need space to process, and they also need freedom to feel without pressure and autonomy within relationships. So get this, in Eastern philosophy, attachment is the root of suffering. And so Sagittarius Moon naturally resists emotional entanglement that feels restrictive. They love deeply, but they will not allow themselves to suffocate for love. Now, let's talk dominance, because Sagittarius Moon dominance is subtle, but very powerful. They dominate emotionally by not needing validation, and they don't beg for reassurance. And guess what? You will not ever see them chase emotional security from others. Their emotional center lies inside themselves. And this creates an aura of confidence that just naturally draws people in without effort. So now let's talk about the part people don't romanticize. The not so great trait of Sagittarius Moon is emotional avoidance, disguised as freedom. Now, when emotions get too heavy or too repetitive or just darn right uncomfortable for Sagittarius Moon, well, they can emotionally just check out instead of sitting with the feeling. They tell themselves they've outgrown it, when sometimes they've just bypassed all their feelings. Now, in Western astrology, Sagittarius energy is future focused, which means unresolved emotions can get left behind instead of healed. Another shadow trait is emotional inconsistency. Sagittarius Moon can be warm, affectionate, and emotionally present one moment, okay, then distant the next. Not because they stopped caring, but because their inner world shifted. Their emotions move fast, and what felt important to them yesterday might feel irrelevant today. And this can make partners feel confused or emotionally unanchored. Sagittarius Moon can also struggle with emotional depth in long-term situations because they crave emotional stimulation. They crave meaning and lots of growth. When emotions become routine or stagnant or just overly dramatic, they disengage and they don't like emotional loops. If a problem keeps repeating, Sagittarius Moon emotionally just checks out instead of revisiting it over and over again. Another difficult trait is blunt emotional delivery. Sagittarius Moon tells the truth even when softness is required in that moment. Their emotional honesty can unintentionally hurt others because they prioritize clarity over cushioning. They don't mean to wound others, but they often underestimate how deeply their words land. And finally, Sagittarius Moon struggles with emotional containment. Feelings don't stay small. So when they're happy, they're ecstatic. And when they're frustrated, they're restless. And when they're bored emotionally, they feel trapped. This moon placement needs emotional movement the way others need stability. And at their best, Sagittarius Moon is emotionally wise. They're resilient, optimistic, and freeing. At their worst, they can be emotionally evasive, inconsistent, and unintentionally dismissive. But one thing is always true. Sagittarius Moon is not here to emotionally stagnate. They are here to grow, learn, and evolve through every feeling they experience. If you love a Sagittarius Moon, don't cage their emotions. Give them truth, give them space, give them laughter and meaning, because when they feel free emotionally, they are one of the most uplifting moon signs in the entire zodiac. So if this sung to your spirit, or I left out anything important, please share your thoughts with me. I always look forward to reading all of your thoughts here. And please don't forget to share my videos with other astrology enthusiasts and smash that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because I know you don't want to miss any of my upcoming deep self-improvement and astrological videos. Thank you for watching. We are out of here.